Hi guys, Irish Eyes here. So today we're in Kilran, County Wexford, in Kilran Cemetery. And I'm here today to find the grave of a woman known only as Crying Mary. And the story of Crying Mary is that she was a local woman here in Wexford who was homeless. And Mary used to walk the roads and was known locally to just the local people here in Kilran. And sometimes she used to do maybe jobs for people and they'd give her food and they'd look after her that way and stuff. And Mary was always walking the road. She was lonely at times. People said she had a lot on her mind. And Mary was on her own, and the story is that Mary's family immigrated to America years ago and she was left on her own, and Mary was found dead one day and she had no family or people around to bury her. So the local people here in Kilran got together and buried Mary in the corner of the cemetery. And she was left in the corner of the cemetery because back in the day, people who were unknown or who were washed ashore and stuff like that were basically, not known to anybody, didn't have any family around or anything like that. So we're going to look at Mary's grave and final resting place today. And before that, we'll have a look at a few other gravestones here in Kilran. Guys, we're going to have a look around the cemetery here. And it's a beautiful cemetery in Kilran in Wexford. It's not far from Rosslare Harbour, where we were the other day on our live, on Serenity Sue's live. So the weather is looking extremely good here today as well. So first of all, we'll have a look at this one here. And it's a beautiful high cross just at the top of the cemetery. And we'll have a look at this. And it says, "Please remember all those interred in this graveyard in your prayers. May they rest in peace. Cemetery of St. Aidan, 1920. And this is placed just at the top of the cemetery here. And it's a really nice Celtic cross that they've placed here in the cemetery. A nice little memorial to have in the cemetery for everybody that's resting here. So we're going to have a look around the cemetery and see the final resting places of people here. Now, it does look like it's quiet here today, so usually it's busy, with people visiting family members and stuff. And at times I don't really like videoing, when there's people coming in to give them respect, visiting their final resting places of their families and stuff like that. So there's a few headstones down here, guys, I want to show you. And we'll have a look at these headstones down here. But as I was saying, the story about Mary, she got the name, and the name on her headstone today is still there. And the name that people knew her as, they didn't know much about her, they didn't know anything about her family or anything like that. So she got the name Crying Mary, because the story goes that at night they could hear Mary when she used to walk the roads at night, that she was crying very loudly, and people put the name on her, Crying Mary. So that's the story of Mary. But recently I have read online about Mary that a very generous local person and family here in Kilran still to this day look after Mary's grave and put fresh flowers on her grave and look after her grave, Mary's grave. And she actually contacted one of Mary's descendants, very far out descendants in America. So it's lovely to think and to know that Mary has somebody out there who knows something about her, where her final resting place is, and maybe they could come over here to Ireland and visit her final resting place. But she certainly wasn't forgotten by the local people here in Kilran, as you know, people who are unknown and stuff like that. So this is the final resting place here of Margaret Codd, who died on the 17th of October 1985, aged 37 years old. And there's a lovely photograph here of Margaret, a very old looking photograph of Margaret. Beautiful picture of Margaret. So guys, we're going to continue on here and take a little walk before we get to see Mary's final resting place. And the weather, as I said, is extremely nice here today. We're very lucky, but I'm sure there's more storms coming. May Costigan died the 15th of June 1994, aged 81 years old. Also her beloved husband Joe died the 9th of November 2000, aged 84 years old. And just look at this one here, guys. This is a really, really neat looking grave here. And it's done with fresh flowers. You can see the fresh flowers all on it. And another little angel, as we've seen on videos before. And just look at the design on it. And it says, Paul, 21st of November 1972 to the 25th of June 2006, beloved son and brother, love is eternal. And that's a really nice, and it looks like in the middle of it there, the design in the headstone looks like very much like ivy in the middle of it there. But it's a really, really nice gravestone for Paul. And it's really nice. And just on top of it, here we see a little butterfly and colours. Now that could be colours of maybe a local club, sports club, I'd imagine. But a really nice final resting place here for Paul. And as we go up along, guys, we're going to look at more of these beautiful final resting places here. And here's another one here. Fresh flowers, nice to see fresh flowers. And those flowers are actually, they look like the colours of Wexford. That's the Wexford colours and those flowers. And this one here says Niels Jacob Lauston, formerly of Denmark, died the 10th of January 1968, born the 10th of January 1968 and died February 2010. You filled our hearts with peace, love, happiness and laughter. That's a really nice headstone for Niels Jacob. And just over here on the headstone, you can see the two flags of the two different countries. You see the Danish flag and the Irish flag. And it says here, Elsket og savnet, loved and missed. So it's a lovely resting place for Niels Jacob. And it's a lovely little cemetery here in Kilran in Wexford. As you can see, it's quite large but well maintained and very well looked after as well. And here in this final resting place we have treasured memories of a dear husband and father, Dermot Lambert, died May 2002, aged 64 years old. And just look at the cross on this. Isn't that beautiful, that cross? It's a beautiful Celtic cross connected to the headstone. And almost it's made of, I'm not sure what it's made of, guys, to be honest. I don't know, is it iron or what it's made from, but it's very, very nice. And we'll have a look here at this one next door before we get to Mary's final resting place. And this one here says, a beloved wife, mother and grandmother, Annette Maloney, born in October 1942, died January 2005, and also her husband Jack Maloney died 2015. And it's another beautiful Celtic cross as well there, and it looks like it's made of marble. It's a beautiful Celtic cross. So the sun is shining, guys, today, so I'm kind of lucky with the weather. I've been meaning to get down here now a long time to see the final resting place of Mary, known as Crying Mary. And it's sad when you hear stories of people that weren't known by anybody. But I always say, these people are never forgotten. And that's why I do these videos, to make sure that these people won't be forgotten. But she certainly wasn't forgotten by the local people here in Kilran, you know, who gave her a final resting place in this cemetery. And here we have a beautiful grave here, loving memory of Margaret Donoghue, Rosslare Harbour, born in March 1920, died January 1999, and her husband Tom, born in February 1921, died in May 2011. And look at that photograph of Tom, another old photo, and it's a really nice photograph there of Tom and Thomas. And the photo actually looks like it's in the 1920s or 30s, and I love those old photographs and graves. It really brings out, you know, you really get to know nearly these people when you come to see their graves, when you see their photographs. It's nice to see. So guys, we'll take a walk around and keep having a look at these gravestones here. And it's a really, really nice, well kept cemetery here in Kilran in Wexford. So I'm going to have another look here at this one, guys. And this is a beautiful gravestone here. Now it's hard to see, and it looks like in love and memory of Liam Sheil from Rosslare Harbour, who died in 1983, aged 63, and his wife Kathleen O'Neill died in 2009, aged 83. And look at this for a cross on this headstone. It's a cross lying sideways on top of the headstone, but it's a beautiful design on it there, if you can see that. And it looks like the face of Jesus on it. A really nice design. So guys, I'm going to take you and we'll have a look at the final resting place of the woman who was known locally as Crying Mary. And we're going to pay our respects today to Mary. And we'll show you Mary's grave. This one is Carmel Pierce, Rosslare, died 2004, age 59. And her husband, Richard Pierce, died 2018, age 76. And there's a beautiful design on that headstone there. It almost looks like flowers, or not sure what type of flower it is. It's a really nice headstone as well. And just here next door to it, we have a really nice one here as well. In our hearts you will live forever, Sinead, sadly missed by your classmates. In loving memory, and it's kind of hard to read it. Sinead Connolly died April, and it looks like, it's hard to read it. She died in May 04. She was born in 87 and died in May 2004 maybe. But look at the designs on this one. Flowers on each side and like a scroll design on top. A really nice resting place. And there's just one here, guys, that caught my eye as well. I'll have a look at this one here. And this one here is the grave for Tony Heffernan, born in July 1946, died November 2017. And just look down the bottom of the grave here. There's a picture of a truck, and it almost looks like that this is Tony in the picture, standing in front of his truck. Galty is the name on the truck. I'm sure that's the name of the company he either owned or worked for. But it says down here, we'll read this: driving all night from state to state, trying to get home and arriving so late. He parked his truck now, his engine has stopped, and those who love him, their hearts have dropped. He travelled the country with a smile of great pride. With a smile of great pride, now he drives the streets of heaven on the trucker's last drive. May God ride with you, and goodbye. That's really nice. A really nice headstone for Tony. He travelled the roads in the years gone past, a life he chose and hoped it would last. That's a really nice headstone for Tony, and a great little story and poem on it there. I'm sure he was loved by many people and loved driving his trucks. So rest in peace, Tony. So guys, we're getting near the grave of crying Mary. We won't be long more and we will visit her final resting place. But I just wanted to show you this here as well. This is a small little plot here in loving memory of all preterm stillborn babies and those who died in early infancy, who are buried here and alive in God's love. The value of life is not measured by the span of its years. That's a beautiful little plot for all those little babies who were stillborn, preterm babies. Rest in peace. And it's so sad that they died so young, all these babies. And here as well, 2 babies, 06 and 12, 2008, twin boys. And it's hard to read, but that's a lovely little plot for all preterm stillborn little babies there. So guys, we're going to take you over to see the final resting place of crying Mary, as she was known by the local people here in Kilran. And there's not much online I could find about Mary. You know, Mary was a homeless woman who survived from day to day, walked the roads. I'm sure she sang, she cried, she loved, she laughed, and done the best she could in life. But she's not forgotten by these people here who are very, very generous to do what they did for Mary and erect a headstone for her. And on this one here it says, "Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner." And that's a beautiful little memorial bench here. So guys, I'm going to just show you here. This is the final resting place of crying Mary. And as you can see, Mary is buried in the corner of the cemetery, as it was years ago and still probably to this day. Anybody who was unknown or didn't have family to bury them, it was called sailors' holes, where people were buried in the corner of the cemetery, much like Jane Doe's, John Doe's, stuff like that. But the people of Kilran have erected this beautiful final resting place here for crying Mary. And it says on it here, we'll just have a look here, in loving memory of Mary, rest in peace in the arms of Jesus and Mary. And somebody has left a little pot here that needs maybe to put some fresh flowers in it, but it's a lovely little resting place here for Mary, and I'm sure she's not forgotten. And just at the back you can see here, pray for crying Mary, rest in peace. So rest in peace, Mary. I'm sure you're in heaven and you're at peace now, for you no